Today we're turning our attention to all the undrafted players signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, bringing the current roster to a total of 90 athletes. Each of these players will be evaluated, along with information on the key rookies expected. To attend the upcoming rookie minicamp, while these players haven't officially signed contracts yet, they've been invited to participate in the minicamp following today's discussion. Before diving into the evaluations, it's worth taking a moment to consider this year's rookie class, which appears to be a promising group selected by the front office. Let's begin our breakdown of the undrafted players, starting from the lowest grade to the highest. DJ Thomas Jones, a tight end from South Alabama, was a decent pickup. I usually don't assign grades lower than a C to undrafted players, giving an F just feels unfair. However, it's likely that Thomas Jones will struggle to earn a spot on the final 53-man roster. He was brought in with a specific purpose but faces a steep uphill battle. The same can be said for J.J. Galbra, a tight end out of South Dakota, although I believe he possesses a slightly better physical profile than Thomas Jones. There's a chance Galbra could make an impact. His relative athletic score, RAA, came in at 8.4 based on recent testing, showing a solid athletic profile. However, compared to other tight ends, his weight is on the lower side at 231 pounds. That puts him in the range of a big-bodied wide receiver, which means he'll need to either bulk up or prove himself as a receiving tight end throughout the offseason. During the draft process, his athletic traits were considered very good. Again, scoring 8.4 on the RAS, but at just 231 pounds, he resembles more of a big receiver than a true tight end. He'll need to add weight or showcase elite receiving skills to stand a chance. Still, his athleticism is encouraging, so I give him a B- grade. Moving on to Ben Salz, a kicker from Pittsburgh, I'd give this move a solid B. Bringing in the former University of Pittsburgh kicker makes sense. He has a good leg, and interestingly, he kicks left-footed, which adds a unique element. Salz has a real shot to make a name for himself during training camp and the preseason. However, it's important to note that Chris Boswell remains the team's primary kicker. Salz will need to impress not just the Steelers, but the rest of the league as well to earn a long-term spot. Next up is Rock Taylor, a wide receiver from Memphis. He's a bigger body target and excelled in contested catches. He could potentially serve as a red zone weapon this season. I'd also assign a B grade to this signing. While he isn't particularly explosive in route running or separation, there's a place for his physical style. That said, other receivers currently on the roster are more likely to secure roster spots than Taylor. On the other hand, Keshawn Williams, a slot receiver from Indiana, might have a slightly better shot. While his testing numbers weren't eye-catching, he performed well last season at Indiana, primarily out of the slot. If Roman Wilson struggles during the offseason program and Williams consistently makes plays, he could sneak into the final roster. Of course, a lot would need to go right for that to happen. Aiden Williams, an offensive lineman from Division II Minnesota Duluth, is expected to transition to guard at the next level. I'd grade him an A- due to his athletic traits. His relative athletic score was an impressive 9.35 as an offensive tackle, which becomes even more valuable if he's shifting inside to guard. If the Steelers are looking for a surprise contributor or a valuable depth piece on the interior line, Williams is worth a look. Keep in mind, the team has invested heavily in the offensive line in recent years, with 2 first-round picks, a second-rounder, and a fourth-rounder all set to start this year. Williams comes from a lower level of competition, but his goal is to make an impact during the offseason program and prove he belongs. One of the most promising undrafted free agents, and someone who truly has a shot at making the final roster, is a defensive back from Iowa. Now some might ask, how can you say an undrafted player could make the 53-man roster? That will soon be clear, along with why he might even start for the team this season. Something that sounds crazy for a UDFA, but makes sense in this case. There were day 2 or early day 3 grades on this player. He's viewed as instinctive and high potential, someone who arguably should have been selected in the later rounds. His scouting report was positive even before joining the Steelers, so this isn't just post-signing hype. His strengths include elite football IQ and the ability to read quarterbacks' eyes, anticipating where the ball will go, an essential trait for an NFL-level defensive back. He also brings versatility, having played both safety and nickel corner at Iowa. In fact, many believe he was better at nickel than at safety. His screen and run defense are also standout qualities. He's shown the ability to sniff out screenplays and eliminate them effectively. But his athletic profile raises some concerns. That's the one red flag, and a big reason why he went. Undrafted. He's not big enough to be a traditional strong safety, and not fast or agile enough to be a prototypical slot corner. This makes him a tweener. Compared to a similar player who had better explosiveness, quicker acceleration, and better short area burst, the similarities are still there in terms of overall speed and arm length. It's not to say he'll reach the same level of success, but his instincts are outstanding. There's some inconsistency in his tackling that needs improvement. Still, I believe he has the potential to carve out a role as either a safety or nickel. There's an open competition at nickel cornerback, and this player might just have the opportunity to show his worth in the offseason. I'm excited to track his development with the Steelers. If you think he'll make the roster, feel free to share your thoughts. I personally believe he will, whether as a nickel or a developmental safety. He may not start right away, but I'm confident he'll be part of the roster. The most optimistic scenario will be him becoming the starting nickel corner. There are others competing for that same spot. Beanie Bishop Jr., Brandon Eccles, and 7th round pick Daquan Hardy. But I think he's well positioned in that battle. Let me know who you think will be Pittsburgh's starting nickel cornerback this year. Now, shifting to my final evaluation. Blake Mangelson, a defender from BYU. I'm giving him a B+ grade for his athletic profile. His testing numbers were solid, though he's a bit undersized for a traditional defensive tackle. However, the Steelers likely see him as a 5-tech defensive end in their 3-4 system, a spot previously held by Larry Ogunjobi. He's not expected to start, but if he can break in, he could become a rotational contributor. Mangelson fits the mold of what Pittsburgh looks for in that role, and his athletic traits make him an intriguing addition to the 90-man roster. As for rookie minicamp invites, the team currently has 10 such players, including Nate Matlack, an edge rusher from Pittsburgh who is seeking a shot. Also invited is Max Hurlman, a quarterback from Notre Dame, who seems to have caught the team's interest. Then there's Eddie Faulkner, a safety and the son of the team's running backs coach, which adds a personal element to the story. Carson Bruner, the son of a former Steelers player and current scout, will also be there. These family ties add even more depth to the Steelers rookie camp narrative. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Baker Mayfield has officially confirmed his move to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a decision that has sent ripples through the NFL world. The former #1 overall pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, who has spent the last few seasons with mixed results in Cleveland and Tampa Bay, now joins one of the most storied franchises in league history. Mayfield's arrival is seen by many as a potential turning point for both his career and the Steelers' offense. Mayfield's tenure in Cleveland was a roller coaster ride. Despite some promising moments, including a 20-20 season where he led the Browns to their first playoff win in over 2 decades, consistency remained a struggle. After being traded to the Carolina Panthers and then moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 28-year-old struggled to recapture the form that made him a highly sought-after prospect coming out of Oklahoma. Now, with his fresh start in Pittsburgh, Mayfield has a golden opportunity to prove himself once again. The Steelers, led by head coach Mike Tomlin, have long been known for their ability to develop quarterbacks, with Ben Roethlisberger's legacy still fresh in the minds of fans. However, since Roethlisberger's retirement, the Steelers have been searching for their next franchise quarterback. Mayfield's addition to the roster comes at a time when the team is looking to rebound from a mediocre 2023 season. For Mayfield, the move to Pittsburgh represents both a challenge and a chance for redemption. The Steelers have an impressive defensive unit and a wealth of offensive talent, including emerging wide receiver George Pickens and veteran running back Najee Harris. The team's stable of weapons should give Mayfield the necessary tools to thrive in the Steel City, assuming he can recapture the form that made him one of the league's most exciting young quarterbacks early in his career. While some critics remain skeptical about Mayfield's ability to be a long-term solution for the Steelers, the former Heisman Trophy winner is determined to prove his doubters wrong. He's coming to Pittsburgh with a chip on his shoulder and a renewed sense of focus, vowing to do whatever it takes to help the Steelers return to championship contention. For Pittsburgh, the addition of Mayfield is a gamble, but it's a risk they're willing to take. The team's front office believes that Mayfield, with the right coaching and a strong supporting cast, can thrive under Tomlin's leadership. While only time will tell whether this move will pay off, one thing is certain: Baker Mayfield's arrival in Pittsburgh has reignited hope among Steelers fans and added an exciting new chapter to the team's ongoing search for a franchise quarterback. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.